So we have entered year 5780. I want to go a little bit into time and the significance of time in Judaism. If you've been coming to Rosh Chodesh, you already know by now that time is not linear. And time is really like a spiral that's working its way ever upward. And it's always in a mode of expansion. Always. It's always expanding because it's always moving upward. It takes within it everything that was in the past, everything that happened in the past. Thank you. Thank you. It takes within it everything that was in the past, and it's moving, it's expanding, it's moving upward. With the new year, what happens? As with Rosh Chodesh, it's the new moon, it's the new energy. With the new year, a new light is infused, a new energy, a new information is infused within the universe that did not exist before. So everything that we have from year 5, 7, 9, everything, plus new set of information, new set of light that gets infused into the universe on Rosh Hashanah. And if we can imagine that, and thank God for computers and things like that, because now it's easy for us to imagine all the mysticism that they talked about for thousands of years. It was not imaginable, but now with the invent of computers and Wi-Fi and things like that, it's easy for us to imagine because we have Wi-Fi, but we don't see it. And if we connect to it, then we get information. And if we are not connected to it, we don't get information. So it's easy for us to be able to imagine something very similar to that happens with Hashem and to us. So on Rosh Hashanah, the seed, the main light that's to be infused for the whole year comes into the universe. Then it's as if though we have zip files. We have 12 zip files that on every Rosh Chodesh, these zip files are opened. And so, but the head of it, the main source of it is Rosh Hashanah. And everything that we are able to tap into from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur, it's a container that we are building within ourselves. It's a vessel that we are building within ourselves in order to hold this information, in order to hold this light. And it's not good enough to have information. What good is information if we are not using it? So part of having the information is to be able to take it in, to analyze it, to contain it within ourselves, and then put it out into action. And each and every single one of us is unique in the way that gets this information, takes it, works with it, and gives it out. It's like giving birth. It's taking that seed, containing that seed, working it, containing it, and giving it out. It's giving birth. That's why it says on Rosh Hashanah, when we read in the Machzorim, today is the birthday of the world. It is the birthing. It is the birthing of ourselves, but it's not going to happen in one instant. It is the seed that we are getting. It is the information that we are getting. And each one of us unique according to who we are, according to our soul, according to the level of our awareness, according to our desire to connect, according to how much we can hold, how much we are able to hold, we work with it and we give it out. Now, this year, is a very, very important year. Number one, the fact that it's the year, the beginning of a decade. And so the beginning of a decade contains within it the whole decade. So we just received the zip file, if you would have, for the whole next 10 years. And so it takes a level of desire, it takes a level of wanting to be able to contain this information and this light and to give it out. Numbers in Judaism are really converted to letters. Numbers, letters, they have an energy within them. Each letter has a code within it. And every time we enter into a new year, the number of the year is significant because it's the code of the year. And here I just want nothing to do with the year, but I just want to insert something in here. When we are a certain age, that age is important because within it, it contains information. And within it, it contains a certain code that we will not be able to access the year before, and therefore it's important. So we should be able to contain every year that we enter into and really own the year that we are in. So going back to 5780. So the year 80, the fact that we have entered into the 80th year, it's significant because within it there is a code, there is information. The light that was infused within the universe is the light for the next 10 years. And let's see what it is. Let's see what this information is really. So the number 80 is the letter P. The letter P is the number 80. Then P. I took a book with me to show you the letter P because it is important. If you have a paper and a pen, maybe Khanum Saraf can write it for us. Please, Khanum Saraf. It's important. The letter P looks like a mouth. It's literally a mouth that has a teeth. The whole next 10 years, it's to do with communication. It is to do with speech. It is to do with expression. And it is to do with how we not only rectify communication, but how we evolve our communication, how we express our communication. It is not only about the words that we do not use or about the words that we do not express, but it is about what we express. It is about how we express. Thank you. Okay, so this is the letter P. See? It's the mouth. See? It's the mouth. Now, okay. Gee. Everybody see? Everybody see the letter P? Okay. Now, the letter P is actually contained of 3 letters. There are 3 letters within the letter P. There is a kuf, right? There's a kuf. There is a vav and an inverted yud. So there are 3 letters that's contained within the letter P. So within the mouth, the kuf is like a container. The vav is a connection, and the yud is the quintessential point of anything.
What is the yud?
It's the quintessential point of anything. It's the point of of inception of anything. Okay? It's also the beginning of Hashem's name. The dot in the middle is the life force. The dagash, the dot in the middle. You see the dot in the middle? The dot in the middle is the life force that's within the container. The life force of Hashem within all of us, that's contained within all of us. But it's also the life force that's within our speech. It is the life force of creation that's within our speech. Also, very important, I wish I had the thing because it would be clearer. There is a letter bet inside the letter kuf, inside the letter pe. No, it's the letter be. It's the white. You can't see it. You have to really look into it. It's the white. It's the letter be within the be is bereshit. It's creation in the beginning. Yes? So within pe is bet. Within pe is creation. God spoke and there was. It is for the next 10 years, it is for us to be aware that with our words, we are really, really creating. There is the be within the pe. There is the bereshit, the beginning, within our mouth, literally. The life force is in our mouth. The life force is within what we speak. And I have to tell you, losing my voice, there is really no other gift greater than speech, greater than our words, because it's one of the ways that we can communicate, we can tell each other, we can express each other to each other. There is of course we can do it with body language, but how much body language can I use? So it's a gift. So first for us to be aware of the gift of speech that we have. When Hashem created Adam and Chava, after he breathed life into them, he said they are a living soul now. The living soul is a talking soul. Is a soul that talks. Is medaber. It's the speaking. It's the speaking soul. So we are alive because we can express. We have a life force because we can communicate. It's all about being able to... Okay, so the last year and the past decade was ayin. It was for us to be able to see, for us to be able to perceive, for us to be able to have insight, to be able to get connected to insight. However, insight has no meaning if we are not able to express it outwardly. So now everything that we have gathered within the past 10 years, it is for us to express it outwardly. The insight that we have had, the connections that we have had, it's no good if we sit on a mountaintop and we communicate with Hashem all the time. It's lovely. But He has given us speech in order to express it, in order to bring worlds into creation, in order to bring the creation into creation, and He has given us that gift. So it is for us to use that gift, to be aware of that gift, to use our mouth wisely. It is not only not to say Lashon Hara, because that's only the beginning, honestly. That's only the beginning. Not to say Lashon Hara, it's only the beginning of using speech. The next step is to use speech in order to create. Because the relationship that Hashem has with us, we called Him Melech. We crowned Hashem on Rosh Hashanah. We express that he is our king. But a king needs soldiers. A king needs queens, needs princess. A king by himself does not mean anything. He needs comrades. He needs a nation. Yes, we are his nation. But if we are to sit and do nothing, his relationship with us, yes, I am the king, but I need you. I need you. You are my soldier. You are my comrade. You are the one that creates. I create through you. Hashem brings into existence every day through his speech. Every day. I'm here because he's willing me to be here, and all of us, Baruch Hashem. But also, he, through us, through our mouth, he also creates. And that's the relationship he wants to have with us. That we are so close to him, that we are so connected to him, that with our mouth, with the life force, with the breath, we talk because we have a breath. The breath is the breath of Hashem that has been breathed into us. It is the breath of our soul. It is our life force. How are we using this life force? For the next 10 years, it is for us to expand on this life force. Yes, be aware of Lashon Hara. And what is Lashon Hara really? It's judgment, right? It's judgment. It's not only judgment against each other, it's judgment against myself as well. Becoming aware of how I'm judging myself. You know, on Kol Nidre, when we, I think if any Jew is not connected, first of all Jews are connected, but if any Jew feels they are not connected, there is one night that they enter into a synagogue, and that's Kol Nidre and Ne'ilah. What happens on Kol Nidre? There is this beautiful song, and the Torah comes out. What happens on Kol Nidre? You know what happens? We are breaking all vows that we made to Hashem, to ourselves, from now till next year, and we are saying, don't pay any attention to it. Any vows we are making, don't pay any attention to it. Why? Because we don't want to bind ourselves to the words that we are speaking. Our words bind us. It's words that we use. It's like vows that we are making. So on Kol Nidre, we are saying, break the shackles of my speech. It all has to do with speech and nothing else. Break the shackles of my speech. Break the shackles of any vows that I have made. I stand here before you empty. I have no vows, I have no commitments, I have no commitments. I'm empty. Why? Because in that emptiness, we are able to create. If I'm shackled to vows that I have made, and that goes back to the speech that we tell ourselves. It can never happen, it will never be so, it won't, it may not, it will. All these words that we use, just becoming aware of it. Just becoming aware is enough to break the bondage of it. So, the letter Pe, the life force that's within it, our breath is the life force. And with every word that we are using, in actuality, is a Bereshit. Every word is a beginning. So now, being that we have entered into a new decade, the life, the energy that's available for us, the information and light that's available for us, it gives us the ability, it makes it easy for us. Let's put it that way. It makes it very easy for us to do that which we exactly need to do, which is to create with our mouths, which is to express, to communicate, to connect. It makes it very easy because the light of it is here. All we need to do is desire it and want it. So creating our reality with our words in actuality. Now, the letter 8 itself is a supernatural number. 8. We are going out of the natural realm of things into the supernatural realm of things. One of the rabbis, they take the numbering, the letters, and they find a verse of it in the Torah. I didn't memorize it, but the meaning of it is that it's a year of wonder. It's the year of wonder. Yeah, it's the year of wonder. And it's the year of wondrous things to come. But here's the thing that we need to do our part. For the wonder to reveal itself, it needs to be expressed. For the wonder to open itself up, it needs to be communicated. And so it's there, it's here, but all we need to do is to express it. It's to communicate it outwardly. It's to bring it into creation. The letter P is the 17th number from the alphabet. 17 is Tov, is good. It's a year of goodness.
Amen.
Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to have challenges. What is it? What? Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean that we are not going to have challenges, because we are human beings and we go through hills and valleys, and that's just our journey. But it does mean that the paths are open for us. It's clear for us. We can walk into it. We can. The light is available to us if we choose to use it for our favor. Yes? If we choose to use it for our favor, it's here. It's available. It's given. So it's a year of wonder, and it's a year of good things to come, good things to reveal themselves, good things to open itself up. And it's, so for the next 10 years, if we can imagine where we were 10 years ago and where we are here today, so I was really thinking not only where I was 10 years ago, but where the whole world was 10 years ago. And if you can see, the world of spirituality, the world of connection has just sprouted so immensely and so beautifully in so many different directions and in so many different ways. It's really miraculous. So I can't imagine what the next 10 years is going to look like, but whatever it is, it's up to us, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful and good if we choose to express it. Moshe Rabbeinu was 80 years old when he became the prophet, and he received Hashem's word in order to take the people out of the land of Egypt. What did he say? What did Moshe say? What did Moshe say to Hashem when Hashem asked him, why? Why I cannot do it? I can't speak it out. Moshe said, I can't speak it out. I don't have a mouth to speak. I stutter. Who am I to go and become the prophet and redeem the Jewish people? The cup was
Excited.
So that was fun. So Moshe says, who am I? I don't have a mouth. I don't have a mouth to speak. I stutter. Who am I to become the prophet and lead the Jewish people out of Egypt? And Hashem said, I will be your mouth. Don't worry, I will be your mouth. Of course, for a certain time, Aaron became his mouth because it was so uncomfortable. So Aaron became his mouth. But later on, he didn't need Aaron anymore. He did not stutter and he could fully speak. So what does that tell you? A lot of times, when we have an inspiration or when we want to do something, we say, I cannot do it. Who am I? I stutter. I don't have the right words. I don't have the right speech. I don't have the right equipment. I don't have the right people. I don't have the right connection. And Hashem says, you don't need anything. Just allow me to be your speech. Allow me to open your mouth. Allow me to come through you. So for the next 10 years, those things that we aspire to, those things that we have always looked ourselves as to be, those things that it seems unreachable, go get it. Go do it. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter how old. As long as you allow Hashem to be your mouth. As long as it's connected. As long as Hashem becomes your life force. Of course, Hashem is our life force anyway. But consciously, we allow Him to become our life force, and then everything is possible, everything is doable. We are in the holiest of holy days up to Yom Kippur. And as the rabbi said, on Yom Kippur, Hashem granted forgiveness to Moshe Rabbeinu. You have been forgiven. I want to just enter it from a different angle. On Yom Kippur, we don't eat, we don't drink, we don't have sexual intercourse. We are fully and completely immersed into, or we should be, immersed into prayers and connection with Hashem. This is the day that our soul, this point of our soul becomes closest to its creation, and that happens on Neila. It becomes, and we start with Kol Nidre. We say, any vows, cancel it. Cancel it. Anything I have spoken, cancel it. Why? Because we want to get to the pure life force. And we want to remember, it is at that time that we want to remember who we really are. Not who I am by name, not who I am by profession, not who I am by status, not who I am by virtue of being Sephardi or Ashkenazi, not who I am by virtue of the family I'm born into, but the life force, that point, that yud, that point that all of us share, and yet it's unique to each and every single one of us. On that time, after having broken all the vows, after broken all the shackles, after being immersed in prayer the whole day, during Ne'ilah, one time a year, we enter into a realm. It's really a realm. We enter into a realm where we are able to remember who we really, really are. And with that, we come back and we go into Sukkah 4 days later, where we have full trust, where we are fully celebrating, where we are inviting people into our hut, where we say that my four walls are Hashem's and I completely trust that it's all taken care of. Because once we remember where we are from, who we are, once we remember why we are here, once we remember that connection, then everything becomes possible. There is nothing that can come between that connection and anything that might be around it. Everything becomes possible. So yes, Hashem says, I have forgiven you. Forgiven you from what? Forgiven you from not being connected to me. That's why in that moment, it's total forgiveness. It's null. It's nullified. Because we have entered a realm that is not a physical realm. It's the realm of the angels. And when you enter into that realm, you cannot carry anything with you except that quintessential self. But it is for us to remember and bring it back down. That's why we go into the sukkah. It's to bring back that light down. It is to bring back that information down. It is to bring back that memory. It's a memory. It's already within us. It's a memory that needs to be revived and renewed and rejuvenated. And when that happens, it's a life that's a life of not only joy, but it's a life of passion. It's a life of desire. It's a life of connection. Because it's filled with a life force. It's filled with it. And so going into Yom Kippur, I had a class about forgiveness, and we spoke about 2 hours why it's so important to forgive, but very, very briefly, just the same as we enter into Kol Nidre and we break all vows, and we want to enter with our only self that is not connected to anything else, to the words that we had spoken, to the commitments that we have made. It is also important that ourselves is not scattered to other places and left with other people. That's why it's so important to forgive, to come back, to bring it back, to become whole. sometimes it's not so easy, but my recommendation is, because we have entered into such an important year, and it really contains the seed for the next 10 years. It contains the seed of creation in its really full force. Hashem spoke it and it came to be. It's the time that we speak it and it comes to be. For us to be so conscious of that. You have 4 or 5 days left. Make a list of those who you feel hurt from, you feel pain from, and really try to forgive them as much as possible. Even 30%, 40%, 50%. Make a list of it and forgive. It could go back to when you were 10. It could go back when you were 20. There are people we still carry with us from long, long time ago. And it's so important that we release all these shackles, release. Forgiveness is such an important, crucial part of entering into Yom Kippur. Make that list. Start from the easiest to the hardest, because the easiest is easy to forgive, and the hardest, it needs some working to do. And if not now, then leave the possibility open that there will arrive a time when you're able to forgive. Leave the possibility open. Just say, for now, I'm not able to. But I leave the possibility open that later I'll come back to it and I'm able to forgive. Just leave it open. Know that the light, the information, the code, the light, the openness is available for us. If you know that, then it's easier. It's easier to do it. I think I'm really complete with what I wanted to speak. Next 4 or 5 days, very, very important. Be aware of your speech. Be aware of your thoughts. Be aware of how you're bringing it out. We are in a creative process with Hashem to create our lives. We are not subject to Hashem or Hashem's will. Partially we are, but partially we are not. It's both. It's both. We are in a creative process with Hashem to create our lives, to create the lives of our families, and to create everything that's around us. We are in a creative process. And in order to be part of this creative process, we need to take part in it. We need to become active in it, to be part of this creative process with Hashem. And so our thoughts, our words, our action are all part of this creative process, especially these 10 days that we are in. If you can imagine, we are elevated, whether we know it or not. These 10 days, we are on a higher level of elevation than we normally are. So you can imagine that we are residing on a mountaintop right now. And the level of oxygen is different. What we see is different. What we perceive is different. So another suggestion I have for you is, if you have any insights, if you have any inspiration that's coming to you, write it out, because this is a unique time that we are in. That's not going to happen until next year. It's a unique time that we are in. We are residing on a mountaintop right now, spiritually. And so what we perceive is different. When you're on a mountaintop, you're able to see things differently. You're able to observe things differently. The level of oxygen is different. Even your being becomes different. And so that's where we are at right now. Just any inspiration you get, any insights you get, write it out and come back to it later during the year. For what you will see, you'll say, did I write this? Did I do this? And so being very careful as how we are taking our steps within the next few days. My prayer for us is, for all of us, is that we are able to use the gifts that we have, the gift of communication, the gift of breath, the gift of words, the gift of expression, and to be able to create, to be able to be partners with Hashem in a creative process of creating our lives for ourselves, for our children, for our families, for the community, for the world, for the Jewish nation, and for the world around us. Amen. We have to know that every wave that we make, it affects the whole. And we should never ever feel that I am the single, what can I do, or who am I, or what's the importance of my existence. Never ever. If we are here, it means we have something to give to the world. If I'm here, it means that my existence matters at this moment in time. And so for us to be aware of that and to give back to the world the life force that Hashem has given me in my own unique expression, each one of us in our own unique expression, to be able to give it out according to who we are. And my prayer for all of us is that we are able to connect with each other on a deeper level, to connect with ourselves on a deeper level, with our souls on a deeper level, to really have a relationship with our souls, to be able to connect with Hashem on a deeper level, and to be able to walk with this connection and with this depth, knowing that every single foot that we are taking is actually a communication that's being that it's a communication that's being moved and that's being created with us and with Hashem. So thank you so much.